Among Excel's arsenal of data analysis tools is a really great feature called PivotTables. That's what we're going to look at in this chapter, and I want to give you an overview of what PivotTables are and where you'd find them useful. PivotTables are useful when you have a lot of data to analyze and it's not obvious how they relate to each other. In the example here on the screen, we have orders being placed from different regions of the country over different months. We see we have different size bottles being sold, and in each order, we can see how many of these bottles are being sold. If you have thousands and thousands of rows of data like this, it could be hard to make good decisions unless you have them analyzed properly. So pivot tables summarize your data. They turn raw data into useful knowledge that you can do things with. Now, if you were to create a pivot table based on the data that you just saw, this is what a pivot table might look like. Now, I know it looks kind of complicated, so let's talk about what the anatomy of this pivot table is. First thing to look at are the row labels. And we just said that we're selling to different regions of the country. So we've taken those particular data points and we've put them into the row labels because there's only a finite number of regions that we're selling to. We also have column labels, and the column labels are also taken from the data that we just saw. We have different size bottles that we're selling. And where the rubber meets the road is the summary area. So for example, we know that the central region has bought over 10,000 bottles of the 1 liter size, and they've bought over 76,000 bottles of the 2 liter size because it's summarized. Now, we can have sort of a third dimension to the pivot table using the report filter. So in addition to our row and column labels, we can also filter by month. Pivot tables are flexible. What's the pivoting part of a pivot table? They're flexible, and with just 1 or 2 clicks, we can swap columns, rows, and filters. Also, we can filter tables interactively with a feature called slicers, and slicers are new to the 2010 version of Excel. In addition to pivot tables, Excel also has a feature called pivot charts, where we can make a chart of all our data, and we'll look at pivot charts also in this chapter.